This is chapter 3 on quadratic functions, and we're going to start with 3.1. And if you take a look at this graph on the NASDAQ, this is quadratic. If you notice how it goes up and back down, so it's very quadratic flowing. Quadratic functions can be written in these two forms, and I'm sure you've seen both of these forms in Algebra 2. Standard form, where as an x squared, then an x, then just a number, so it's in descending order. Another form is the vertex form, and the reason why it's called the vertex form is because the h, whatever that letter or whatever that number is, and the k is the vertex. So you've seen that form also. And we're going to work with both forms. So quadratic functions, this is standard form and this is vertex form. And we'll keep referring to this list, so you probably want to pause this just to make sure that you're able to write this down, because this is a very good info page right here. So the vertex in standard form is negative b over 2a is the a, and whatever you get for that a, you're just plugging it back in to this right here. So if the a ended up to be 3, you're taking the x as 3, plugging it in here to come out with your f of 3, if that's the case. Your min and max is going to depend on if it opens up. So if this opens up, you will have a minimum. If it opens down, you will have a maximum. So depending on which way it's opening. And the A tells you that, which way it opens. Axis of symmetry is going to be whatever this x is. X equals whatever that is. It's a vertical line crossing the x-axis at that point. And again, A controls the narrowness and the wideness of the graph. So if it is a 2, I kind of treat it like a slope in a way. And we'll do a problem so you'll be able to see this a little bit better. The x-intercepts are where this f of x is 0. And we're going to use our calculator to find the zeros instead of factoring. Normally you'd have to factor this. And then the y-intercept is when x is 0, whatever the y is, which ends up to be the c. Because when x is 0, 0 ends up to be the c. Vertex form, some things are a little easier to find, some things are a little more difficult than the standard form. And the vertex, which is easy to find here, min or max, opening up or down, axis of symmetry, the A still controls the narrowness, x-intercepts and y-intercepts. So let's go ahead and just try one. It'll help you explain this. We'll refer back to that too. Solve and graph. So the equation is in standard form, in which y equals this equation right there. So what do we know about the value of a? So the value of a is 3. And opens up or down. This will open up because this is a positive a. So it will open up because it's a positive a. And if it opens up, it has a minimum. So you're looking for a graph that looks like this. To find the vertex, this is not in vertex form, so the vertex is a little harder to find here. So the vertex first we're going to do is negative b, x equals, over 2a. And the b ends up to be 12, so it's negative 12 over 2 times 3, which is negative 12 over 6, which is negative 2. So on the vertex, it is an ordered pair. The x is 2, and then I'm going to take this 2 and I'm going to drop it in here and here on your calculator, in for the x. And that's going to come out with negative 1. So make sure you know how to do that. Make sure you plug it in. So when you put a negative 2 in here, make sure you put a parenthesis around it. Squared. Axis of symmetry is a vertical line crossing the x-axis at this 2. Negative 2. The x-intercepts, we're going to use a calculator. And we are going to actually find those on a calculator. And then the y-intercept, I'm going to let my x equal 0. and I'm going to find my y. So if I let x equal 0, very easy to find. This ends up to be 0, this ends up to be 0, so it ends up to be 11. That one is very easy to find, where the vertex is a little harder to find on this one. So we're going to go to our calculator right now and see if we can find those x-intercepts. So what I did is I put my y equal, and I put that equation in there, and I just did a zoom 6 just to see if it would work. It's a 10 by 10 standard window, and if you notice, it does work. You see the vertex there, which is right here, the minimum. So I'm going to calculate, and we are trying to find the x-intercepts actually first. So I'm going to calculate the zeros. And I'm going to find this 0 here first, and then I'm going to find this 0 second. So if I were to find this 0 here, I'm going to have to be to the left of that. So I'm going to move my little bug to the left of that. And here it comes. So I'm to the left of this point right here. So I'm going to push enter. And then it says right bound, so I'm going to go to the right of it. Just over it. Notice I'm to the right of this point right there. I'm going to push enter. Notice that the 0 is in between it. I do not want to guess, so I'm just pushing enter. And I get negative 2.57735, 0. The y should be 0, right? So you're going to write that down for your first one, and then I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to calculate the 0, number 2. And I'm going to be just to the left of the next one. So here's this next one, I'm to the left of it. So I'm going to push enter. And then I'm going to do right bound. I'm just going to follow the directions. I'm going to go to the right of it. So I'm to the right of it. I'm going to push enter. I don't want to guess. And that one ends up to be negative 1.4 something and 0. Another thing I'm going to find while I'm on here is I'm going to find this vertex. So I'm going to calculate the vertex, which would be, or it would be the minimum, so number 3. And I'm going to be to the left of the minimum and the right of the minimum, just following the directions. And that's going to be, and this here, you're going to round this because this one is way out here, so you're going to round this a negative 2, negative 1. So now that we got all of those, we need to actually put it on our graph here. So we ended up with the x-intercepts, or the vertex of negative 2, negative 1, and we actually found that way though too. I'm going to put I have that in the wrong spot here. The x-intercepts are negative 2.5770, and then the second one is negative 1.423. 0. And we have all of our information here. Guaranteed you're going to see one of these on the test. So if I was going to graph this, I would be at 0, 11 for my y-intercept. I would be at negative 2, negative 1. For my minimum, my vertex, and then I'd be at negative 2.50 and negative 1.5, roughly 0. And then you're going to go ahead and draw your parabola. So this graph should match up with all the stuff you have on here. Let's try another one. This one here is in vertex form. So being that it's in vertex form, the one thing that's easy to find is the vertex, which would be the h, which would be 1, x minus h, and 2. That's the easiest one. And the axis of symmetry is x equals 1, vertical line. The a in here is negative. So this is going to open down because the a is negative, which means it's going to have a max. And the a value is 1/2. The x-intercepts, we are going to use our calculator again. And the y-intercept is going to be a little bit harder to find on this one because if x is 0, So if x is 0, that's going to be negative 1/2 times, if x is 0, that's going to be negative 1 squared plus 2. And negative 1 squared is just negative 1 times negative 1, which is 1. So it's going to be negative 1/2 plus 2, which ends up to be 1.5. And then again, we're going to go to our calculator and plug this in to be sure we're able to do this. Oops. And go ahead and put this into your y equal button. Clear this one out. So negative 1/2 parenthesis x minus 1 parenthesis squared plus 2. And I'm still going to do the zoom 6, see what it turns out to be. See if it's in my standard window. And it is. And it looks like it's at negative 1 and 3, but I'll confirm it by finding the zeros. So I'm going to, calculate the 0, number 2. And I'm going to follow the directions left bound. So I'm going to find this one first, enter. Right bound, this will get much quicker as you go like this one, enter. And I don't want to guess. So that is negative 1, 0. I'm going to go ahead and find my second window, or my second 0, so number 2. And I'm going to be to the left of it. So think it's right there, so I'm to the left of it. Push enter. I'm going to go to the right of it. Push enter. I don't want to guess, and that's 3, 0. While I'm on here, I'm going to find the maximum, so I'm going to do number 4. And I need to go follow the directions left of it. Just make sure you're left of it, enter. I'm going to go to the right of it. Go a little bit more just to be sure I'm on the right of it, enter. I don't want to guess. My max is 1. Remember, you're going to round this somewhere. If you rounded it after 3, that would just be 1, 2. So I'm going to go to here now and go ahead and put that in. I already have the 1, 2 there. That's a confirmation for me, just like I did on the last one. My x-intercepts were negative 1, 0, and 3, 0. So if I was going to go ahead and graph this, there would be 1. There would be the second one. The y-intercept would be 0, 1.5. And then my vertex is 1, 2, and then I'm going to go ahead and graph it out. So there's one of each of those. Give the coordinates of the vertex. So vertex form is pretty easy, right? It's 3, 5, because this is x minus h. This one here is a little different. This is like x minus a negative 4, right? Because that's x plus 4. So my h here ends up to be negative 4. It's just the opposite, right? Just the opposite. Learn that in Algebra 2. And then the vertex for this one's a little bit more difficult because I have to do x. The x part of the vertex is negative b over 2a, and negative of negative 4 all over 2 times 4. So that's 4 over 8. So x is 1/2. And then if I were to take this 1/2 and just drop it in on your calculator, I would get 7. So notice how you find the vertex in the two different forms. Are these quadratic or not? If they are quadratic, are they concave up or down, and do they have a min or a max? So let's take a look at these. So this one I would say no, because it's to the first power. So I'm done with that one. This one I would say yes, it's quadratic. And this is a positive a. So this is going to be concave up. And if it's concave up, it's going to have a minimum. Think about what that looks like. This one, I would say, again, yes. My a is negative 2, right? So this is going to concave down, which is going to give me a max. All right, so I'm going to not do that one. I don't feel like I need to do that one. So you're going to do that one in your notes. So write that down. And then you're going to find all of this This is part of your homework. So you could actually put that one right in your homework and this one in your homework. So graph and labels, you're going to find each one of these for these 4 problems right here. And I just got to confirm these are right answers here, but these are the 4 that you're going to do on your own. And then we're going to go right into these story problems. So first thing you're going to do is the last 2 screens, and then we're going to go right into the story problems on this one.